Hi, and welcome to BremSter Puzzles, and back to Sudokétudes set 7, where we're now kicking off with the variant Sudoku, where we're starting with the Quadruples puzzle, which I always find fun. So what do I need to do? Go through the rules. There'll be a link below to where you can try this puzzle for yourself, and hopefully to the puzzle pack and to the puzzle tracking list, which has been put out. Thank you, Blobs, for all your work. Let's go through the rules and get straight into the puzzle. As I said, the important thing, link to the puzzle below. So let's have a look at the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. And the only other rule we've got is quadruples, which means digits in one of these quadruple circles must be placed in one at least once in the 4 cells touching this circle. So we know there is a 1 and a 2 in those 4 cells. And around here, we have to put at least 1 2 and at least 1 8. It might be possible that both of those are 2s. That might be possible, but there must be at least 1 2 in those 4 cells. They're the rules of the puzzle. I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. So there must be a 3 in those 4 cells, and this 3 means it's not there. So there is a 3 in one of those 2. Where else can I use that sort of logic? Well, there must be a 3 around here, but this 3 is saying it's not there. So there's a 3 in one of those 2. And now the 3 around here, because the pointing 3's here, can't be there. It's in one of those 2. And this 3 says it's not there. So this is the 3. Could have just used this 3 to place it. But now there's a 4 in one of those 2. Okay. Well, this 1 is saying there's no 1 in either of those 2, but these 4 cells must contain a 1. So it must be there, and there must be a 2 in one of those 2. Okay, there's got to be more like that I can do. Right. 5 can't be in either of those 2, but there must be a 5 in here. So that must be the 5. And there must be a 6 in one of those 2. And this 6 says it's not there, so this is the 6. Okay. Oh, and these are 5 and 7. So this has to be the 3 4 that goes into those. So this is actually a 3 4. And we know what these are. 1, I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 8, and 9. The 1 isn't there. The 8 isn't there. And I'm not sure about that one. Okay. There is a 4 in there. Oh, there must be a 1 in one of these 2, because this one is removing 1 from being in either of those. So the 1 must be in one of those 2. So around this quadruple, I can't put the 1 in either of those 2. So it must be in one of those 2, meaning this isn't the 1. That is now an 8-9 pair, and that is a 1. Which means around this quadruple, the 1 can't go here. It's in one of those 2, which means 1 can't go here, pointing 1's no 1 here, 1 is in one of those 2, but these 2 pointing 1 still say 1's not there, and that's a 1. Which means over here, 1 can't be in any of those, there or there, because I've got the pointing 1's here and the 3 1's. Well, basically I've got the 3 1's knocking out all of those, and that becomes a 1. Which does confirm what I've got here, but... Okay. Can I do more? I mean, yes, I can eventually. I just haven't seen how yet. Okay. Is it? Yeah, it's just basic Sudoku. 7 and 7. 7 can't go in any of those. 7 can't go there. That's a 7. So this is actually a 3 4 pair, which means that can't be a 2. Because if this is a 2, that would have to be both 3 and 4 to complete the quad. That's a 2. So these are now known. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9 go into those. Okay. Well, except this 8 is looking down at this quadruple. So I can't put 8 in any of those. That's the 8. That's the 4. There must be a 9 in one of those 2, meaning that's the 5. That's the 9. The 9 looks across, making that the 8 and that the 9. Okay, this is a 3 4 pair though. So I can't use 3 or 4 in any of those. These are 2, 7, and 9. Okay. 2 is looking down saying there's no 2 there. I keep missing this basic break-in, which I obviously used over and over, and I keep forgetting to use. 2 here means there's no 2 in any of those, so 2 is in one of those two. There is definitely a 1 in one of those two, and there has to be an 8 in one of those two because I can't put 8 here, which means there's an 8 in one of those two. Doesn't stop there being an 8 in one of those two because I can't put 2 8s around here. But it does mean I can't put 2 in one of those two, so the 2 must be in one of those two, meaning that's not a 2. What is this triple? I've got 1, 2, 3. I don't have 4. I've got 5, 4, 7, and 8. And this can't be the 8 because the 8 has to be around here. And the 7 looks across, meaning that is the 4. And this is a 7, 8 pair, which means there's no 2 here. There is definitely an 8 here, though. There is definitely a 1 in here. There's no 9 in there. Okay, what's this triple? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 5, 8. Well, there's no 8 there because the 8 has to be around the quadruple, or there's an 8 in the box. And the 2 looks across, making that the 5. And the 5 comes out of there. This is a 2, 8 pair. Now, what these 3 digits are, because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I've got 7, 8, 9. So these are 5, 6, and 9. And the 5, 6 looks across, making that the 9. And I can take the 9 out of those. So 1, 2, 3. This is the 4 that's not in the box. And this now must be 3 and 9 to have both 3 and 9 around this quadruple. And the 9 makes that the 3 and that the 9. This is a known triple. 1, 2, 6, 9. There's no 2 there. There's no 9 there because it has to be around the quadruple. I think that's as far down as I get it, though. Okay. I know 1 is in one of those. 2 is in one of those. This quadruple seems to be the main one I haven't used yet. Okay. This 9 is saying there's no 9 there. Something, something, something. This 1 is looking across saying there's no 1 there. That's the 1, which means this has to be the 8 and this has to be the 9 because I still need to put the 9 in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are 6 and 7 with the 6 looking down, making that the 7 and that the 6. The 6 looks across, making that the 9, and I can take the 9 out of there. Okay, that's cool, but these are now known. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, and 8. Which means neither of these are 1 or 6, and this becomes a 1, 6 pair. So this is the 5 and this is the 6. Which means 5 is in one of those two because these 5s are eliminating 5s from all of those, and that's a 9. So this is a 2. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a 2, and I know what these are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3, 4, and 9. The 3 and the 9 means that's the 4, and take the 4 out, and the 9 makes that the 3 and that the 9. Okay. It's got to be something else. Well, this 4 means there's, and this 1 means there's no 1 or 4 in there. So this does become a 1, 4 pair. And that looks across, meaning that can't be a 4, or both of those are 1. That's the 3, that's the 4. Looking back, making that the 3 and that the 4. This is now known. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5. And these are 1, 2, 3, 6, 8. And the 2 3s mean those aren't 3. That's the 3. This is a 6, 8 pair. So 6 can't be in any of those or any of those. 6 has to be in one of those two. There must be a 7 in one of these two. These are 2, 7, and 8. And they must contain a 7. And can't contain a 2. Where's 2 in this row? Can't put 2 in any of those. Can't put 2 in any of those because 2 has to be around this quadruple, which means it's there. That is a 7, 8 pair, meaning that's the 2, that's the 8. Looking back, making that the 7 and that the 8. This is now known. It's not the 2, that's the 2. This is the 4 that's not in the row. And this is the 5 that's not in the box. The 4 looks like making that the 1 and that the 4. The 4 makes that the 8 and that the 4. The 8 looks up making that the 7 and that the 8. The 7 looks up making that the 9, and I can take 9 out of there. The 8 looks up making that the 6 and that the 8. The 6 looks down, making that the 1 and that the 6. So these are known. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are a 5, 6 pair. And the 5 makes that the 6 and that the 5. The 6 looks across making that the 2 and that the 6. So let's look at these rows, because I need to get a 2 or a 7 to resolve those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are 7 and 9. The 9 makes that the 7 and that the 9. The 7 looks up making that the 2 and that the 7. And these have to be 1 and 2. And I'll use that 1 to make that 2 and that 1. And that is the solution to Take a Spin by BremSter. Yeah. I wanted to do a nice introductory quadruples puzzle that actually used some interesting quadruples logic. I can't remember how long ago I created this one. Only a bit over a month ago, by the look of it. But I've solved quite a few. Actually, I haven't. It must have been older than that. Maybe not. This could have been a moderately new one. I'm not sure. But I vaguely remember wanting to create a couple of introductory quadruple puzzles, and I think this was one of them, and I actually quite like it. Hopefully you did too. Hopefully you had fun. There are definitely some brutal puzzles coming in this Sudokétudes set, not necessarily by like Logic Masters Germany standards, but by Sudokétudes standards, there's some tricky ones coming. Thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed the puzzle. Hope you're enjoying the set. Hope you're enjoying the entire series. And as always, good luck with your solving.